Hello. So I just realized I'm starting the video and I never gave the link to join. If you already signed up, you should already got the link. If you're watching now, which there isn't anybody, just gonna write a note. The link to join the Hangout is here. So if you catch this in progress, you will be able to join. I do ask if you do join, just speak up. Let me know you're here because I'm just going to talk through this. Yeah, through the session. So just kind of get everybody up to speed. You should be already. This is like our third one in a row that we've done. But we are using Nitrous. If you go to rubynewbies.org, you will find the Nitrous link there, and you'll be able to sign up to view the box. You will have to log in to actually view the box, but here I've got a spec already set up. Today we are using RSpec. In the past we've actually used Minitest, and thought we'd go ahead and change it up. I want to kind of do 2 weeks RSpec, 2 weeks Minitest, 2 weeks RSpec, 2 weeks Minitest, and just go back and forth. I think it's a good idea to kind of get used to both, especially if you haven't used one or the other, because there'll probably be different use cases or different times where you'll have to encounter different ones if you plan on doing Ruby for a career. I've encountered both. I started with RSpec and I've now moved on to Minitest. Also, just FYI, I've just started the timer. I'm going to use some time to explain the problem, and I will actually use that time as the 30 minutes. So jumping in, Ruby Newbies, we're doing the TDD session, so we're going to do 30 minutes of TDD while solving the problem. The problem is this. So I'm actually going to do a guess the number challenge. I think this might be in the Learn to Program book, or some sort of iteration. Actually, there's also even a version on Learn Ruby the Hard Way by Zed Shaw, which I highly recommend going through. I kind of pointed people away from this for a while because it was so outdated, but he has recently done an entire overhaul on this whole project. So I highly recommend anybody who wants to learn Ruby check this out, because I started with this and it was pretty awesome. Got about halfway through and kind of fell off, so I might try that again. There's some things that you kind of pick up through here that you don't really find elsewhere. For example, doing a command line game. This game, this guessing number game, is actually going to be command line, so it's not going to follow all the object-oriented practices that we've kind of done so far in the past 2 sessions. But we'll see how it goes. I have not written tests for something that's so simple that has an OO. So we'll see how it goes. So, and again, this is a site. We do have a meeting next week about procs and lambdas, which I still have not. I was going to update this today, but then I got caught up at work and have not updated the actual link. But I'll update that tonight since I do not have work tomorrow. Also, a real quick thing, I did put out a message on the group. If you guys wanted to check out our refactor cop, unfortunately now we have no more issues open. I closed one of the issues and someone else actually submitted a PR. Awesome, thanks, I really appreciate that. And I went ahead and closed that PR today and merged that. But refactor cop's a pretty awesome way to contribute open. If you click the I'm feeling lucky, Adi, how about that? You can actually see start a debugger. Why is there a debugger in his debug? I think that's okay. But yeah, that's really funny that Abdi Grimm's not sure what Hammer Time is. I think I've heard of it, but yeah, you could actually help out some open source repos and get some open source contributions by changing some simple things in their PRs. So I submitted Ruby Newbies website to see how good it was, and we had 2 issues that were fixed very easily, style issues really. So let's just read the description of this. So one person, the master, picks an integer. We're going to be both for the testing phases, but the idea of this is actually to enter a number in the command line, and the computer will come back and tell you if you need to go higher or lower. And here's a little example. Computer says pick a range of 0 to 9. So since we're now doing RSpec, I've got a spec here, and I am just going to write a test. So I'm just going to write program should start with command with asking. This is player to pick a number. That's a very long description, but we'll go with that. So the RSpec 10 syntax, I do have a session open here. Where do I have it? Oh, so I've got I just have an RSpec chassis here. I don't use RSpec at work. I use it for one current project, which I'm not very active in at the moment. So I sometimes have to look up to see some of the syntax to make sure I'm doing it right. But we're just going to do like the expect and then equal. Just keep it very simple. We don't do anything crazy. And it looks like why am I not writing expect has no S in it? I knew that. So I am expecting game dot run. Oh, actually, I'm going to name it number dot run. And where do we have expect to return that? So yeah, I'm going to expect game dot or number dot run number that guess. How about that? We could change that later. So expect number that guess to return. Yeah, this is a. We'll just write that, and it might need to be changed. My command to actually run an RSpec test is just RSpec because I'm actually in the same folder, so it makes it easier. And I have not saved. Okay, I should get a failing test. Oh, that's because I need to call the folder. That will work. Cool. So I will, how do you move this up? There we go. So my first error is I wrote a test, but what I don't have is I don't have something that I'm requiring relative for. So I'm requiring relative number, which means I need a file called number. If you see guess a number / number, there's no number file. So that's an easy fix. I basically have done this every week on purpose to kind of show, I guess, the simplicity of doing TDD. And I'm going to assume nobody's going to jump on and do the collab session, but I threw it on collab in case someone who's already signed up wants to join. And I think I need to. All right, so I'm going to run the spec. This essentially is TDD. Oh, so I did something wrong. I just wrote it as it, and I think it should be should. There's no syntax. Spec syntax. And I should know this too. But I don't. Is it describe? No, it's
You
it.
need to use a describe block.
Okay. Is that what it is? Oh, yeah. Okay, got it. Thanks for your assistance. I didn't get your, is that Raphael? Cool. So I wrap that in a do. Cool. All right. So we got one example and we got a failure. And the failure is because we don't have number. Um, and so now we have number, but we don't have a method, which is guess. Um, uh, see, now I'm repeating number, number, and number. Uh, so I'm actually writing what's not expected in the test. So I'm going to change that to check, and I'm actually going to pass in my guess as a number. No, I want to initialize. So I want to do number.new. That's what I want to do. We want number.new to return that. Okay. So that's what testing's for. So on initialize, we want to print this. And yeah, if you want to jump in, Raphael, if I'm doing anything that is a little weird, I always tend to write code when I'm under pressure, or write weird code when I'm under pressure. Hmm. So number.new did not return what I expected.
Well, I think that what you found was that the constructor returned an instance of the object.
Yeah,
So you are calling, you are defining initialize, but actually when you call new, it calls that method. But after the method executes, it returns the instance of that object. So probably what you want is, even if you use the that new, you can define a new method in which you put your print, and in fact you should just return a string, and that will make the test pass.
are you saying return the string in a separate
Yeah, without,
message?
yeah, without the print, and do that new and then that message.
So put the message in the actual test?
Yeah, well, in the test you will call that new and then that message. That will make your test pass.
Okay. Uh, cool. All right. So that passes. But I want is there a way for dot if dot mess to the message method to actually be run at the instantiation of the actual class? The number new. Could I pass that in the initialize method and return the message?
No, because at the end of that method, it will return it will return self, which is the already initialized object. So maybe what you want is a class method.
Okay. Um, we'll change that to start. Okay, well, we will. I want to try something. All right, so let's just run this. We got a passing test. We'll just move on. Uh, two passing tests. So it should ask for a number on start. Uh, I think is that proper syntax? You tell me. Um, looks like that might be better. See if that runs. Cool. So yeah, I just wanted not to repeat myself. So number start to equal uh, oh, I don't know how to write a test. What I'm trying to do is take a guess which gets dot chomp. I'm trying to do that, but I don't know how to write a test for that. So let's just see what runs there. It's not quite TDD. Why do I keep writing that wrong? So if I were to yeah, I don't think I can write tests properly with just trying to do this all command line. This might be something I'm going to do outside. So I'm just going to create a new method called guess that returns your number is. gonna have problems with that, but we'll see. So I have a syntax error. I'm missing a closing paren on line 12. Close, open, open. Hmm. Are you seeing what that error is? I'm not seeing it.
I think maybe the problem is the escaping of the double quotes for the
Right.
interpolation. So you need to take out the last one. And also the other, which is yeah, after the column.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, that
yeah.
makes sense. Yeah, I totally understand what I just did. Okay. All right, cool. Got computer range, zero this. So I failed the first test because I need to actually take that code out. And we're now going to do a guess. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. See number two, and expecting number to be tool. All right. So that's a proper failing first test. So we now want to print this. So we got two examples. All right, but we want to know if we did actually set the answer first. So how do we set the answer? If a method, if we initialize the game with the answer. So expect to start. Number that start and actually pass in an answer, I think will probably be the best bet. But the player shouldn't know of the answer. So actually in the initialize method, um, we should probably write a test that we actually get a randomly generated answer between 0 and 100. Um, I'm not sure if I explained the test or the game, but it should be the answer should be between 0 and 100. So I'm going to write a test, if you're okay with that, Raphael. Write a test to expect that an answer will return a number between 0 and 100.
That sounds good. But the thing is that you are going to, I mean, you are going to, the problem that you will have is that this will be a random number. So how are you going to make the the test to be deterministic.
Um, well, I guess we could just write a test that we'll write a test first that the number returned is an integer first, um, and then we can write a test that the number falls within the range, maybe.
Mm. Why don't you just, I mean, you know that the numbers will be between 0 and 9, right? So why don't you just generate the random number inside the start method, calling it, and then just pass number to the guessed number between 0 and 9. And when you get the answer, then you return that number. You can test that within your with RSpec.
Okay, so calling number that start and
Yeah,
then
without expectation. So you
yeah.
will have a number that start first, and then you will generate the answer number inside it, and then you can just make a loop. And well, the problem will be still that you will have um, the problem is that the return value for that method will be random. That's the problem. So you will
Yeah.
have a lot of failing expectations if you
Yeah,
test
but
it.
we don't have to test actually what that number is. We can actually test that that number is a number. Because if we test what the
Okay.
number is, it would just it'd be yeah. We don't. I mean, we'll have to do 100 tests or a loop that loops to 100, which I don't think is really necessary. Um, Not sure how to do this in RSpec though. Expect usually check a type. Um, um, yeah, I don't know what the syntax is for that,
For
but
for for checking for the um, kind to be kind of, I think. Well, to be is that failing?
it. Oh, okay. To be kind of, yeah. There we go. So yeah, we can work to s- um what's the syntax for a random number in Ruby? Rand, but can you do a range?
Is random that random? But let me see. I thought that when you start the game, that is the place in which you are going to generate the random number.
Yeah. So it would be like something like this if you do uh maybe actually have answer as an initialized method and then set um or if we do an attribute.
Yeah. you can generate that in the constructor and then use an attribute reader to expose the new random number.
So we could set the answer to rand 100. Oh, so then game.start. Um, oh, so, we don't need a method then.
Yeah.
But it's returning. Well, it could be set here because I don't want it to return that answer. Yeah, not quite. All right. Well, that is as far as this is going to go. I just hit the time limit. But
Okay.
I definitely learned a couple things. Um, it's always a little harder rushing against time, trying to write tests and figure stuff out. Which I'm sure I could figure this out in like 30 minutes with no time pressure. But yeah, I think this was good. And also, RSpec is something I really need to practice more of. So I think during the week I might start running more tests in RSpec and trying to make sure I know the syntax. But yeah, Raphael, thanks for showing up and helping out.
Sure. No, no problem. My pleasure.
Cool.